Hello, everyone. Let's wait a couple of minutes for everyone to join and then we can start.
Hello, everybody.
All right, I think we can start. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the webinar of today. I have the pleasure to host this webinar together with our partner, MyRent, and we have Mario today from MyRent, who's going to help me lead this session. Hello, Mario.
Hello, everybody. I think most of the attendees know me already, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm working in MyRent, basically everything that's regarded about working with clients, so from sales to consulting support and everything, guiding them through the process of using MyRent. So, but I think most of you already know me. Um I will let Giovanna to introduce you with PriceLabs, and I will also say a couple of words about integration of PriceLabs with MyRent.
Yes, very good, Mario. So the webinar of today will be how to boost your revenue. It will be targeting the Croatian market. So we are going to unlock some insight about market data in Croatia. So the webinar will be recorded. No worries if you miss some parts because we're going to send you the registration. And let's keep the webinar interactive. So if you have any question, feel free to drop a message in the chat or in the Q&A. We have our colleague Blas who is going to help us, and we're going also to have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So as speaker today, we have Mario, who has already introduced himself, and me. So my name is Giovanna. I work as solution consultant for PriceLab. I look after the Croatian market and also other markets in Europe, such as Italy and Greece. And it's more than 1.5 years that I'm in PriceLab, and before I was working for a PMS and for a property management company. Now, let's check the agenda of today. So we are going to introduce both company, MyRent and PriceLab, so you can see how the combination of both company can be an advantage. So we are going to check the integration between the two platforms. Then we are going to deep dive into some market data about high season in Croatia, so we can see how the market is going. And we're also giving you some tips on how to take advantage of this in PriceLab. At the end, there is going to be a surprise, so stay tuned so we can discover it together. All right. Now, I don't know how many of you already know PriceLab if you're using it, so I'm going to give you an introduction. PriceLab is a revenue management software. Our core product is dynamic pricing, so we are going to generate the rates daily based on market data. Together with this, we also have more analytical part and market research part, so you can control, for example, your performance and also how the market is doing. So this is why we like to call ourselves a complete revenue management solution. Our target are the short-term rentals, so everything that you can find on Airbnb, from apartments to villas to cottage, big property managers, small property manager. But our product can fit also for mid-term rentals and hotels. PriceLab was founded in 2014, so now it's more than 10 years that we are in this industry. We are pricing more than 500,000 properties all around the world. So it's a really international product. We are present in more than 125 countries, so also in Croatia. Also, our team is international, so we are based in Italy, Spain, India, US, so all over the world. Now, The first question that comes to your mind when you are thinking about using PriceLab is why using dynamic pricing rather than fixed prices. So the first advantage is related to revenue. So with PriceLab, you are able to detect if there is a peak in demand or if it's high season, and we are going to adjust your prices accordingly. If you have fixed pricing, then you can miss opportunities because you're not able to exploit these demand peaks or the seasonal trend. Another big advantage will be related to occupancy. So we aim to give you a stable occupancy, because a common mistake can be that, for example, for low season or for low demand, you have a fixed rate which is too high. So in this case, you are missing out on opportunities. With our software, we want you to have a stable occupancy and to maximize your revenue during high season or high demand. Another important factor is competition. We know that it's really an effort to go online on booking.com, Airbnb, check the pages and track the prices of all the competitors. So with PriceLab, you can automate this process. You can check dozens of properties. You will have a table with their rates, their minimum stays, so you can keep track of them. Another key factor is time. We know that property managers are really busy between operation, between guest communication, and so on. So with a software like PriceLab, you can automatically calculate your prices and also send them automatically to the PMS. Then, if you're using MyRent as well, they will be distributed all over the OTAs. So this will be a big advantage to save your time. Now, let's see how our algorithm works. So the first step will be data collection. So we are going to scrape the public pages of the main OTA, Airbnb, Vrbo, and Booking.com. This is a process that we do daily. We also have our own database. So we have the list of the events in your destination, and we're going to validate this data with key data. Second process will be clean this data. So we are going to remove all the inactive listing, all the blocks, so that you have an accurate data. Then here the calculation starts. So our algorithm will start recommending the rates. Our algorithm is called hyperlocal pulse because the market that we are considering is the hyperlocal one. So for example, if your property is in a specific area of Dubrovnik, we are going to consider that specific market while looking at demand and seasonality, because we think that this factor can be different in other areas of Dubrovnik. Together with the automation, you can also control your prices. So we have a wide range of customization that you can personalize. This is, if you have already a strategy, you can implement it using the customization. Otherwise, they are already set by default, checking the market data. Once you're all set, you can start sending the prices to the PMS. So we are going to push prices and minimum stay to MyRent, and MyRent is going to push them all over the different channels. You also have a tool to see your performance. So you can see, for example, how you're doing, how your properties are performing, and so on. Okay. This was a quick introduction. Now over to you, Mario, so you can introduce MyRent.
Thank you, Joanna. So, MyRent, most of you know already a lot about MyRent, but I will say it anyway. So, we are channel manager and property management system based in Croatia, and we are working for almost 9 years, I would say. And we are always looking into new opportunities to offer something new to our clients. And one of those new opportunities is, of course, PriceLabs. I need to mention that dynamic pricing, using a tool for dynamic pricing, is something that is used by many people in, let's say, Western Europe, USA, and those markets that are a bit more advanced. And some of you might think that setting prices is something that you do and you don't need help about it, but trust me, that's a really complex process, and using PriceLabs could do a big difference for you. Um, I will say one example. I will continue. I will skip to the example later, but a bit more about MyRent. So as I said, we are based in Croatia, in Zagreb, and most of us are working in tourism. We have our own apartments. I think 90% of the company has its own apartments. So we are not just familiar with vacation rental market through MyRent, but through our own personal experience. So we always I think that helps to understanding better our clients, their needs, their requests, their wishes. So that's something that we are proud of it. And Joanna, you can move maybe to another slide. Yeah. My rent is a solution that is can be used by literally anyone who is working in short-term rental market. So small private owners, property managers, travel agencies, hotels, camps, we have a solution for everybody. So for those let's say smaller private owners, we have a light solution of MyRent because we realized that MyRent is a complex solution and it has many options and functions that sometimes it's a lot for private owners, but on the other side, it helps our property managers, our travel agencies in their everyday work. So we needed to develop a few solutions, and that's something we are also proud of. I think we have something for everybody. Also worth mentioning is that we have our own channel manager, so every connection we have, it's our own, developed by our team, by Neven and the rest of our developers. And that's something that many of you maybe doesn't mean anything to you, but I will explain what should it mean. When you have your own connection, nobody or nothing can interrupt it. So we are not relying on any outsourcing company or any external company. So our connections are our own, and it will stay like that. So in past, when we were starting, we needed to rely on some other companies for connections, and that's something that's not easy process, and it's not good when you are relying on somebody because in a matter of days anything can change. Now we have our own connections, and that's something we are also proud of. And yeah, we are working with everybody that's important on Croatian short-term rental market, starting from Booking.com, of course, Airbnb, Vrbo, Expedia, Holido, Home2Go, and many others. Of course, we have connections not just with OTAs, but with, let's say, to e-visitor, to Croatian Ministry of Finance, with PriceLabs, of course, and with many others that you can use, that you can integrate with, and with anyone that can be useful for you. Maybe I can now return to the example.
Yes.
So Neven, Neven, he has an apartment in Zagreb, and he's of course using PriceLabs for a few years now. And there was a rally event, I think it was 2022, and his, let's say, average price is something around €100 for a night. And he got a booking for €500 a night. So total it was 1,500 for that booking. And he didn't realize why he received a booking for with such a high price. And then we Google it and try to find what's happening in Zagreb right now, and it was a rally event. So from €300 that he usually earns for 3 nights, he got 1,500. So difference is 1,200. So I think he covered price for PriceLabs for many years with just one booking. Also, I need to mention that integration with PriceLabs and MyRent, it's very easy. So you just need to copy one code from MyRent and paste it to PriceLabs. Of course, we have a tutorial and our team helps you with it always. And yeah, what else? I can just suggest you to try it. I think it's 30 days free, so you can see how it works, how it helps you, and I think everybody can benefit from using PriceLabs.
Thank
Back
you,
to you,
Mario.
Giovanni.
Thank you very much also for sharing the story of Neven. I think this is really important as a use case because we can see how we managed to increase the revenue for these events. So as we were saying before, we are able to track events to detect when there is a spike in demand, and to adjust prices accordingly. So you can get the most out of these events. So this is a great example. Coming back to the integration of MyRent and PriceLabs, so we saw how important it is to combine a PMS as MyRent with a revenue management solution as PriceLab. This can keep you to stay ahead of the competition. This can help you also to save time. Okay, as Mario said, it's really easy to integrate with PriceLab. So we have a step-by-step guide that you can follow. You just need to copy an ID, and then you will add the properties on PriceLabs. As Mario mentioned, we have 30 days of free trial, so you can try it for free. And as we mentioned before, our rates will be pushed to MyRent. MyRent is going to push them to the different channels. We can populate the calendar for the next 720 days. So your rates will be already generated for the next 2 years, which is a big advantage. Also consider the fact that OTA wants your calendar to be always updated and so on. You can decide to set your minimum stay in PriceLab. We do have a dynamic minimum stay. We're going to check it later. Otherwise, you can still set it on MyRent. And we also have Portfolio Analytics, which is a reporting tool. It's for free, so you can check your performance, how your properties are doing, and you can also compare different time ranges. We are going to check it before. Now, let's go in the most important part of the webinar. So we are going to check some data about the upcoming months in Croatia. We thought that now that we are in the peak season, it's good to understand how the market is doing, so you can also compare yourself with the market and take into account that this is considering the whole Croatia. So we are targeting the coastal area, urban area, everything all together. All right. So now the first thing that we have tracked is occupancy. We are going to compare 2025 versus 2024. And we can see 3 different lines here. So we have the red line, which is the future occupancy now, June 2025, looking at the next month. Then we have the gray line, which is occupancy same time last year, meaning that July 2024, we were looking at the coming months. And then we have the black one. The black one is the final one, so the occupancy that we reached at the end of the month. So checking this graph, we can see that now it's peak season. So now we are in the months where we can see the highest occupancy, and it will be likely the same scenario this year. The gray line is overlapping the red line, which is a good sign because it means that we are pacing more or less at the same level as last year. There is just a small drop, as you can see. So for example, in July, we were at 62 as of now, and now we are 57. But this is not worrying because there might be people still organizing their vacation and so on. This is also related to the booking window, which is something that we're going to check later. Then we are going to the low season. As you can see, occupancy will drop from September on. Now, another factor that we consider is ADR, so the average daily rate of the bookings that were received in the market. We are also going to compare year on year, so 2025 versus 2024. Here we also have the red line, which will be the future occupancy. So now, July 2025, looking at the next month. The gray line will be the ADR that we saw last year at the same time of today, so July 2024, looking at the next month. And then the black one will be the final ADR that we had at the end of the month. As we can see, ADR is right now higher more or less by the 6% compared to last year. This is normal. This is something that we saw all over Europe, maybe due to inflation. So this is something completely normal, I will say. What we can see is that in some months, ADR is lower compared to last year, so October, November, and December, but this might be because of low season and because we still have we still don't have a significant occupancy for this month. What we observed last year is that the gray line was higher than the black line. So this means that the ADR was dropping. Okay, so this might be because we were decreasing the pricing to try to gain some occupancy. So maybe we applied some discounts, so maybe we were lowering the rate, but this is normal because we were facing low season. So it's really important to be prepared also for low season. Now, this is another key factor, which is booking window. So this means how far in advance people are booking. And we can know through this data when to expect this month to be booked. So it's really interesting to see how diverse the booking window is in Croatia. So we can expect last minute booking in slow season. So for example, we have a booking window of 2 weeks, but for August and July, we have a booking window of 3 months. So we go well in advance. We can see that this year, which is the blue bar, the booking windows was dropping a little bit. This is also normal because people are booking with less advance. I don't know if this is something that you noticed. So right now, we expect your calendar to be already almost full because with a booking window of 3 months, you should have already got bookings for your calendar. If this is not the case, no worries because you can still try to capture some bookings. So for example, with last minute discount, or if you apply maybe a less restrictive minimum stay, you can still try to fill in your calendar with bookings. Another really, really important factor is the length of stay. We can see that during summer is around 7 nights. So stays are mainly of 7 nights. So we can talk about long stay during the summer, and this is dropping for the low season to 4 nights. Here, it's really important, for example, if you use PriceLabs to have a different strategy. You can use a seasonal profile to have a minimum stay which is shorter for low season, minimum stay which is higher for high season. So you can align to the market and avoid to miss opportunities. Also, this is decreasing this year a little bit because maybe it's better to be a little bit more flexible. Now, we can see how to track these metrics on PriceLab and how to take advantage of a tool like PriceLab. So first of all, as we said before, we already take into account demand and seasonality of your area. So your prices will be already adjusting to demand and seasonality, so you don't need to worry about this part. Then in your dashboard, you can already control the metrics that we mentioned. So you already have, for example, the occupancy of the next 7, 30, and 60 days. And this is also comparing with the market. So if you see a red indicator, this means that you are performing worse than the market. If you see a blue indicator, it means that you are performing better than the market. So this is something that you can always have a look, and it will tell you immediately how you are doing. This is customizable. So in case you want to check, for example, your ADR, the last book date, your pickup, everything can be customized in your dashboard according to your needs. A really important thing, as I was saying before, we have a dynamic minimum stay. So we have different rules, for example, for the last minute. For example, in case you have a gap between two bookings, we can try to adjust the minimum stay to try to increase your occupancy and your revenue. We also give you some recommendation based on the market trends of your area. So if you are in a specific area, for example, of Dubrovnik, we can give you the specific minimum stay that you can use with all the different rules. And now the news is that this can be also implemented automatically in PriceLab. So we can change it month by month according to what is the trend of your market. Now, All right. We do have another section which is called neighborhood data. It's next to your calendar in PriceLab, and it's already included in your subscription, where you can see how you are positioned in the market and some insights about your market. For example, in the future prices graph, you can see the black line. These are your prices recommended from PriceLab, and you can see where they are sitting compared to the market. The market is divided in different bands with different colors. So we have the gray one, which is the economy range of the market. Dark pink is the mid-scale range of the market, and the light pink will be the most expensive property of the market, so the upscale one. As we can see, your price will fluctuate and it will range from the economy part to the upscale part of the market. This is because you have different demand, different seasonality, maybe different customization, which will adjust your price. So from here, you can see, for example, in case you need to adjust some periods or if everything looks good. Then in the market summary, you can see what we saw before, so occupancy and booking window, but refer to your specific market. So you are, for example, in a coastal area of Croatia, you can check this and see when is your booking window. So when to expect this month to be booked. So you have a breakdown month by month. So for example, you know, for August, the booking window is 32 days. So I'm going to expect booking with 1 month in advance. For September is also 1 month, so if my calendar is already full for September, it might be that my prices are too low. You can also check the length of stay, you can check the ADR and the occupancy, everything also month by month. Then you have Portfolio Analytics, the tool that we were mentioning before. It's like a report where you can see how you are performing. You can compare different time ranges. So for example, I want to check how I was doing in June 2025 compared to June 2024, I can do it. And also here I can see green indicator if I'm doing better than last year, red indicator if I'm doing worse than last year. I can also do this for a group of property or maybe for a specific city, so I can use the filter to combine this. For example, here, if I see that my booking window is too short, it might mean that I'm too aggressive with the last minute strategy. If I see that my booking window is too long, it might be that my prices are too low for the far out ranges. All right, this is everything about PriceLab. I hope this was useful and you also understood like how the combination between PriceLab and MyRent can be a big advantage to save your time, to track the data, and to perform better compared to the competition. Now we have a surprise for you. Thank you for staying till now. So for everyone who is willing to sign up for PriceLab, we are giving an exclusive promotion. You're going to have the 50% of discount in the first 3 months of subscription. This is if you subscribe until the 9th of August. Okay, you can use the code MyRentPL 2025 that you can see here, so you can take note of it, and you can benefit of this special discount that we thought for you. So we are going to leave this slide so you can take note of the discount. And as we said before, consider that you already have the 30 days of free trial. We can help you with the onboarding. Mario, I don't know if you want to add something.
Yeah, we will put the codes in a newsletter, so we will send it after the webinar. So you won't. This is not the only opportunity to see the promo code. And of course, with any questions regarding integration about PriceLabs and MyRent, feel free to call us, send us an email, anything. So we will gladly help you. I think that you saw that PriceLabs offers many interesting opportunities and many ways to improve your business. And I think it can be a very useful tool for anybody who is in this market. I don't think there's anything to lose. You can try it, see how it works, and then decide will you continue to use it or not. Integration with MyRent is very simple, and so prices are updated automatically, and once PriceLabs send us the prices, we send it to all OTAs that you are connected with. And also one thing to mention, so maybe some of you know that already, but when you are updating the prices regularly, maybe daily or a couple of times a week, OTA will push you further, so it will push you up on the list. It means that somebody who is looking for a rental unit will find you easier, and that's something that could also be beneficial for you. So you will be listed better, and you will get more bookings. So of course, if you have any questions now, feel free to ask. Maybe we can do it in Croatian for some questions if you want. And thank you very much, Giovanna. It was very interesting, and I think we learned a lot from the webinar.
Thank you, Mario. I hope it was not too data heavy because we saw many numbers, but I think this is also helpful to understand the Croatian market. I see we have some questions. So Mihaela, she was asking about the prices of PriceLab, so I can take this question. So Mihaela, our price is based on the number of apartments that you manage, so the number of listings that you're going to sync on PriceLab. Okay, so we check every month how many listings you are syncing, and then you're going to be charged at the end of the month according to this number. We start from $19.99, and then there will be a volume-based discount. So of course, the more property you are going to sync, the less will be the price per listing. We do have a pricing calculator, so we can send you the link in the chat. So you can also have a preview of what will be your price. Together with this, of course, you will have the discount code that we showed before and the 30 days of trial. So if you want to try, this will be a good opportunity. All right.
We have one question from Irena. I don't know, can you see it, Joanna?
Yes, in the chat. Yes. So does OTA recognize when prices are managed from PriceLab and PMS, or do we have to enter into the dashboard in the platform? So the prices will go from PriceLab to MyRent, and then from MyRent to the OTA. Okay, so you don't need to go to enter the platform to populate the prices, because this will be done automatically from MyRent, who is going to push the prices sent from PriceLab. So this will be the flow of the prices, if I understand it well. Don't know, Mario, if you want to add something here.
Yes, actually, I would like to add something. So, those prices that are updated and set by PriceLabs are not something that you need to set always. So if you don't agree with some suggested price, you can manually change it for certain day or certain period. So PriceLabs is doing suggestions for you, but of course, if that price that is set for any day or any week or any month is not okay for you, you can set it manually. So you are still managing the prices, but you are getting big help from PriceLabs. Is that right, Giovanna? I think it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's right. Correct, Mario. You're doing a great job explaining about PriceLab, so very good. So we
Thank
have
you.
a question of Ivana as well. She's asking, PriceLab in my rent pool pricing prices that are set in the calendar. How can this work correctly if our prices in my rent are net prices? The amounts the owner wants to receive, and my rent sends increased prices with a markup to OTA channels. I would assume that this is the case. The calculation won't be accurate. Thanks for the question, Ivana. This is a very good point. So when you set your base price in PriceLab, you should take this into account. Okay, so if, for example, you have an increased price, you have a markup, for example, in the channels, then, for example, you can adjust your base price and maybe set it lower, because you know that there will be this markup. Because with our rates, we're going to populate the standard rate of MyRent, and then all the markups will be added. So you just need, the prices will be accurate anyway. The only thing is that you need to take into account that if you have a markup, this will be added on top of your prices. So when you choose your base price, you might need to set it a little bit lower. There is also the possibility to have a preview in PriceLab of your prices with the markup, so you know how they are and where they will be positioned in the market. Hope I understood it well. Mario, do you have something here?
No, it's fine. I think you said everything. We have another two questions from Michaela.
All right, yes. So one is how many times prices are updated per day. So once you turn on the sync, we are going to update the prices automatically once per day, usually during the night, but this is something you can customize. Otherwise, you have a button that says sync now that you can push as many times as you want, Mihaela, and this will send the prices immediately to MyRent. Usually the automatic sync that we do by night is enough because we push prices daily. And we also change the prices in the calendar once per day. So we calculate all the factors again day by day. In this case, you can see, do I get an information if PriceLabs changes my prices? You can see in our dashboard when the last sync was. So, you know, for example, if we were changing the prices 30 minutes ago or 2 hours ago, you will have this information on the dashboard. But usually when you turn on the sync, this will happen daily.
Regarding that, you might be afraid that the price lab will set the price lower than you are expecting, or maybe even higher, but you are in charge of the minimum and maximum price. So you always set the minimum and maximum price, and price labs will set the price something in between regarding the demand and everything that is taken into calculation. Uh, just to quickly answer Irena's question. So, yeah, the algorithm of the OTA recognizes that you are changing the prices regularly. So, they don't know that you are using priceless, but they can see that you are changing the prices like daily. And you will agree that nobody changes the prices daily. So, this also helps with it. You will be pushed better and you will be listed better when changing prices daily.
Correct, Mario. Yes. So is that there is no like official news that you are using PriceLab, and then so you're going to be ranked higher because of this, but because of the update that we do daily, because of the fact that you use dynamic prices, and this is something that helps with the OTA of the algorithm, then you are going to be possibly ranked higher because of this. You don't need to do anything in the platform, Irena. So this is something that they know because we are pushing different prices daily. All right. Thank you for clarifying the question. I hope now it's all clear. All right, yeah. Okay, let's see if we have other questions. Thank you, Mihaela, also for the great questions. We have a follow-up question from Ivana. If we set the base price in MyRent to match the price that is sent to OTAs, which includes the markup, then when PriceLab pushes the updated price back to MyRent, MyRent will again apply the markup before sending it to the OTAs. Is this correct? If so, it seems that the prices on the channel will end up being too high unless we enter them manually. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to better understand the question. Just one moment, Ivana. So if we set the base price in MyRent to match the prices that is sent to the OTA, which includes the markup, then price that pushes the data to MyRent will again apply the markup before sending that, correct? So you can decide, Ivana, here, okay? So if you want to use a markup or not. So if you
So
are afraid to have, for example, too high prices in the OTA, you can just apply, for example, a 5% markup, 8%, so you can decide. The important thing is that you can check your rates in PriceLab before syncing them. So you can choose a base price in PriceLab, see how the prices are, and then you know, for example, that you are going to apply a markup of the 10%, 15%, so you can see how your final rate will be so that you don't end up being too high. So this is something you can control. So I will suggest to Ivana to uh, maybe check this together. You can try opening a PriceLab account so you can see how it works precisely. Okay. Mario wanted to add something?
I just wanted to say that, of course, because when using a new tool, you need to adjust everything, but everything can be changed easily. So you need to tweak it up a bit for the first couple of days, and then from there you are in good hands. So PriceLabs will do setting of prices for you, but of course, in the beginning, it takes a day or two to set up everything correctly and see how it works. And then when you learn, same as in MyRent. So for first couple of days when you were using MyRent, you needed to see how everything works, check if everything is doing the right job. So when setting the prices, you always checked on booking.com is price changed and everything. But after a couple of days, you are not thinking about it anymore. You know that system is working for you.
All right, yes. Then Ivana, if you have the account with us, feel free to write to our support, so support at pricelab.co, so we can check your case and your question precisely, okay? But usually it's PriceLab that sends the rate to MyRent, so we are going to override the rates that you have on MyRent. And then from there you can set the different markups. But if you want, we can understand better your situation and your question, so feel free to write to our support, okay? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ivana. Let's see if we have other questions for today. All right. We can give you a couple of more minutes in case you have other doubts about the integration. We hope so far everything was interesting. Of course, you will get the recording of the session. So in case you want to watch again some parts, you're free to do it. We can repeat again if you want the code of the discount, which will be MyRentPL 2025. And this will be valid until the 9th of August.
I think we can send it together with the recording of the webinar. So
Exactly, yeah. Irena is saying it sounds like an interesting tool to explore. You have useful video guides, right? Yes, of course. I'm glad that you find it interesting. So for the onboarding, we can help you. We depends on the size of your account. We can have a group onboarding, which happens daily. Otherwise, you can have a dedicated onboarding and we have our L particles, so you can, for example, have all the information to start with the account. We have videos on YouTube on how to best set up your account. So yeah, you will be fully supported in case you start with PriceLab. We have a question from Marco. I manage a short-term rental in Croatia, house with pool for 10 people, and currently use 5 seasonal rates from 1,000 per day in July and August to 500 per day in the off-season, with other season in between. Would you recommend keeping this seasonal setup in PriceLabs, setting different base, mean, max prices for season, or just use one base price across the whole year? I'm worried that using a single base price might push March prices too high or drop July prices too low. Excellent question, Marco. We usually suggest to have one base price because our base price is already accounting for seasonality. Okay, so when you think about the base price, you need to keep in mind that this is considering both high and low season. But if your market is very, very seasonal, so there is a huge difference, you also have the possibility to have a seasonal base price. But this is something that you will need to check because we will be anyway counting the seasonality factor. So your prices will be anyway adjusted. Okay, so you can give it a try and see what is best for you and your property in this case. Usually the single base price is the best. Maybe you can also try to fine tune some customization that we have to have the perfect price for you. Alexandra is saying, should I contact you for a trial of 30 days? No worries, Alexandra. You can go in our website, hello.pricelab.co, and from there you can directly open an account and enter the code. Okay, then of course you can always reach out to us in case you need help or if you have doubts, but you can start directly from our website. Exactly. Thank you, Blas. Blas is sharing also the training session that we have. Grazie mille, Alexandra. All right. Let's see if we have the last question for today. Otherwise, we're going to end the session soon. Thank you, Marco. Okay, this one is in Croatian. So, Mario, this is for you.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure to answer it in Croatian or in English. Ali evo mogu na hrvatskom, I can do it in Croatian. Da, to je nešto što i mene zanimalo, kako može PriceLabs pomoći tim cijenama u sezonskim destinacijama. Ali u stvari, ono što smo i pričali dok smo se pripremali za ovaj webinar je da te cijene koje imate u predsezoni, posezoni su možda preniske, odnosno može se ostvariti veća zarada, isto tako ne znate gdje je plafon ovih cijena u visokoj sezoni. Tako da najbolje isprobati i vidjeti rezultate i onda možete napraviti neku usporedbu korištenje PriceLabsa ili ne korištenje PriceLabsa. Ja mislim da mi često bilo tko određuje cijene za nekakav smještaj često može pocijeniti dokle te cijene mogu ići, pogotovo u nekakvoj visokoj sezoni i kad je ogromna potražnja. Za jednu noć što će vam dignuti cijenu apartmana, bili šta god, što će PriceLabs dignut, vi možete isplatiti korištenje PriceLabsa za cijelu godinu, za 2 godine. To je najbolji primjer Neven. Ok, to je Zagreb i tu ima puno evenata i nije visoka sezonalnost, ali svejedno, mislim i da na obali to ima smisla isprobati, vidjeti kako radi i onda donijeti neki sud. Pogotovo zato što ima nekakav besplatni period korištenja i može se probati sa 1-2 jedinice i ako radi, onda probati sa više jedinica.
Okay. I can fairly say I didn't understand anything, Mario, so if you want to give just a small translation, that will be great.
Yeah, just in English quickly. So the question was about using PriceLabs in seasonal destinations. I wanted to say that PriceLabs can also be beneficial in situations like that because we are all maybe underestimating how high we can set the prices, especially in high season where there's a strong demand and just one push for single night can justify the price for using PriceLabs yearly or maybe even more.
Yes, great job, great job. I mean, this is related to what we saw before. So having dynamic pricing can help you also in a high or low season because maybe if you have a high fixed rate, then this can cause also no bookings or low occupancy. So we want also to have a stable occupancy during low season and let you maximize the revenue during a high season. So also in seasonal market, you can take advantage of PriceLab, I would say. All right, I think we can end the session here for today. If you have any other question, no worries. You have our address, support@pricelab.co, or the address of MyRent. So Mario, can you please repeat the help address for MyRent?
Yeah, so you can write us on help at rents.com. And I think most of you have our contacts, so you can reach to
Yeah,
any of us with anything. So we will gladly help and answer your questions and help you with integration with PriceLabs.
yes, yes. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, everyone, for participating to the session of today. We hope it was useful. And if you want to take advantage, you have the promo code to start and explore PriceLab. We're really glad about the collaboration with MyRent. So we already talked about the success case that we had, and we are looking forward for the next one. So I wish you all a great day and a great day. And I see there is also a question, sorry, from Marco, but already Blas is answering, so very good. All right, we can end the session here. Thank you very much again. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mario, for participating.